This will be the end of treason as we know it. This will be the death of anger, cause we won't show it. Here isn't safe for me, give this a meaning. Do you wanna feel the rush when somebody's listening? Everybody's getting closer to the earth, and someday I'll set you free, I promise. There's no time to lose, the world is closing in, and we're still here. We hold on to what's the rush, feeling like a dream. Could we be crying for tonight? We're lost but never found. Fear is not around. We can turn this world around.
What's up, vape fam? First question, can everybody hear me? Is the audio good? Because YouTube is screaming at me. So I want to make sure you guys can hear me. Okay. I don't know why it does this, but I think what it is there's no sound before. I've got like everything muted before I go live, but I've started the stream technically, and for some reason YouTube Studio loses its mind and thinks that my audio bitrate is 0. So I'm guessing that's what it is, just like a glitch. All right, but anyway, what we're gonna do, we're doing live mixing. I decided to bring this back. I wasn't going to for a while, if at all, but then kind of noted DX went away. So I decided I'm going to bring it back, but the way I want to do it is I'm kind of going to pick a flavor each time we do this. And I really want to shoot to do this I'd like to do it on Mondays before Wayne stream. So like 8 p.m. to whenever we're done, but make sure we're done before 10. And then just pick a flavor, go over my favorite flavors for that particular one and kind of why, then mix up a couple of things, and you know, that kind of be the idea behind the live mixing. And then every once in a while we'll do something that's multiple flavors and not related to just straight flavorings per se, but I kind of like that idea and I think it'll be a lot of fun. So I'm trying to find ways to make the channel fun. Again, this is definitely one. So all right, let's see what we got in chat. We got Hungry Hippo. What's up, brother? Barry Jones, how's it going? Seymour 499, how's it going? Who else we got? Iced Big Red, what's up? 251 Performance, what's going on? Just Josh. Dusty Country Roads, good to see you. Paul Pittman, same thing. I know I've been kind of not around a lot, but it's just been, I don't know, I haven't had a lot of fun with the channel in the last few months. And then also I don't want to review pods and disposables and all that, and there's not a whole lot coming out on the rebuildable side that I'm really interested in, although I do have this right here, the Asgard V2. I am going to do a review for it this week. I've been playing around with it and I was kind of interested in that one to see how do you take one of the best atomizers of all time and try and do a V2 for it to make it better. So definitely was interested in that one. I may do one for the Nightmare V2 as well. I do have one of those. I kind of passed on doing a review for it because I was like, everybody's done theirs already, but I may actually do one of my own. Really been enjoying the Nightmare V2 28mm. Nice. That's the one that I have. I don't have the mini. I thought that the mini was what I ordered, but turned out it was the 28mm that I got, and I was like, whatever, that's fine. Make it bigger. They actually like went in the middle, you know, where they've got the 30 with the beauty ring is 32, and then the 25, 28 with the beauty ring for the Asgard Mini. This one's 28 with the beauty ring making it 30, but it kind of makes it perfect for this right here, the Ampere 21 being a 30mm mechanical mod. So that's definitely the mod I'll use to do the review for the Asgard V2 this week, and I'm gonna try my best to get it up later this week. If nothing else, it'll be up Monday before we do this again. And I don't know what flavor I'm gonna do next week. I was actually gonna do blue raspberry this week, and then kind of everybody did it all of a sudden. Wayne had a show where he just went over his favorite kind of newer blue raspberries. So I was just like, all right, I'll pick raspberries. So that's what we're going to take a look at today is raspberry flavors. Don't do anything over 24mm, usually 22. Like, yeah, 22 is kind of, 22 and 24 is pretty much my bread and butter. But on mechs, I've started to kind of lean more towards a little bit larger, 28, sometimes 30. I don't really get into the super large. Like, I didn't even order the Asgard XL because that's just too big. I'm never going to use that. And I have maybe one device that it would fit on, but that's pretty much it. So knew I wasn't gonna mess around with it. Got my Fat Rabbit 2 in today, loving it. Think it would benefit from 3.5mm coils versus 3. Yeah, it probably would. You definitely got room for it. So yeah, I think you get a little bit tighter airflow in it. Cannot remember if I've done that before or not. 3mm is usually my jam for any RTA, but just by the look of the way the Fat Rabbit 2, I think 3.5 would work great in them. It's mixing time. I had a raspberry filled donut flavor from, I think, Big Bottles Co. a few years that I liked, but I never see it anymore. Kind of a lot of those one-shot companies, it seems like they pop up and they'll have 3 or 4 and then you never see them again. I don't know if I do know some of those are mixers that release one-shots and then it either doesn't do as well as they thought, or the company that's carrying it for them doesn't think it's worth it to keep that particular one-shot in stock. I think Big Bottle Co. is pretty big, so wonder if it was just a sales thing. Feels airy. I wish I could move this little heart thing because I can't read the rest of your thing. Still enjoying it. Your review is A+. Thank you very much. All right, so as far as raspberry flavors go, I don't think there's really any raspberry flavor out there that nails authentic raspberry, but I don't mind that so much because I'm not really going for authentic raspberry if I'm doing a mix. Most of the time I want either artificial or candy. If I had to pick one that was probably the best authentic, I do not have it, basically because I ran out and I haven't got my order in yet, is Flavora's Red Raspberry. I think that is extremely authentic. And then this one right here, VSO Red Raspberry. This is super authentic. This is the OG, so this is one you gotta pump up like crazy. But I do also have the raw Red Raspberry. Extremely good, very authentic raspberry. It is a little on kind of the lighter side, so you kind of need another raspberry. But if you're looking for authentic, this and Flavora Red Raspberry, I think is probably about the best way to go. Deep cuts, what now? Been on RDL the last month. At Funny Tech Precision GT RTA limited edition. My 2 new ones, liking them a lot right now. Nice. deep cut. Oh, flavorings. No, yeah, red raspberry from Flavora, and then VSO red raspberry. I think are probably the two most authentic ones that are out there. But like I said, I don't normally go for super authentic if I'm going to use raspberry. But if that's your jam, those two are probably the best ones out there. Kind of start out with some of the old school ones. One you see a ton is this one right here. TFA Sweet Raspberry. Now, I do not like this flavor by itself. So if you single test it and you're like, what the fuck? It's really good in the mix. It kind of adds a little bit of a sweeter raspberry note to anything that you're mixing. I like using this, and you'll see a lot of people use this with blue raspberry. If they, whatever blue raspberry flavor they're using, they want a little bit more of kind of that raspberry edge to it. You'll see this pop up a lot. The one other TFA raspberry that I use a lot, just the straight raspberry, I think is a lot better. This is a very candied raspberry, but I really dig this flavor. It's kind of weird that I've got the 60 ml bottle of the sweet raspberry and 30 ml of this, but I actually ran out of a 4 ounce of this not too long ago and just happened to realize I had this little 30, so grabbed it for this. And we're also going to use this flavor in one recipe that I'm going to do a little bit later. Then probably the most well-known and most used raspberry flavor is Flavor Arts Raspberry. You'll also see it listed as Barrel, I think is the way it's pronounced. I hope I didn't butcher that. It'd be like Raspberry Barrel in parentheses, or just Barrel, depending on where you ordered it from. It's good. I really dig this one, but I can't pump it up very high before I start to get a little bit of a chemical edge to it. So I normally use this one 1%, 1.5% at the very most, but I do dig this flavor. I like adding this to candy raspberry recipes if I want a little teeny bit of kind of an authentic edge, but still falls within that sweetness. So like if you want a raspberry candy, but you also want kind of a more authentic-ish raspberry texture, this does really well in that situation. This is probably the one you'll see in more recipes than any other one, except for the one that Seymour 499 just mentioned. We can look at those too. Inaware raspberry, you also see it as raspberry Melina. This is an amazing raspberry. It has absolutely amazing tart edge to it that really no other raspberry competes with. The only thing with this, you got to use it low. Anything above 1%, at least for me, becomes Floral City. But using it at 0.25 to like 0.8 is normally fine. And it's just an absolutely amazing raspberry flavor. It's sweet, it's tart. It'll do just about whatever you want. I actually like using this one as well with SSA Scandinavian Fruit to give what they're trying to say is cloudberry a little bit more of an authentic edge. But I also use this, the Shisha Raspberry from Inaware, to do the same thing to cloudberry at least. Big difference between these two. This is not quite as potent, and being most Shisha, it's a really syrupy raspberry. I'm really kind of shocked this is not used a lot more, because it's basically just a syrupy version of Inaware straight raspberry. Doesn't have quite the tartness that Inaware raspberry does, but if you're needing something a little bit more syrupy, maybe you're doing a raspberry lemonade, something along those lines, this would work perfect. And you can pump it a little bit more, say 1.5, maybe 2, as long as you don't start to get any type of floral notes off of it. And I really dig this one too, but you just don't find it in very many recipes. It really kind of baffles me. I guess some people feel there's better syrupy raspberry options. All right, so we did Inawera. There's another Inawera, was it Wera Garden, but I really don't like that raspberry, so I do not have it. For keeping on kind of old school raspberries, There's Capella Raspberry. There's also a V2 of this. I'm not a big fan of the V2. Problem with both of them is they're very thin. They just do not have a lot of body. They're definitely a candy raspberry, and I dig that about this one, but you have to have some other raspberry with it. This will probably never work as the only raspberry in your recipe because it is so thin. The V2 is a little bit thicker, but not really by much. I know a lot of people like the V2 better than this one, but I don't really fall into that camp. This is another one we're going to use. You used to see this one used a lot, and then just a lot better raspberries came out, so you don't really see it used too much anymore. But I do have a sour raspberry candy recipe that we're going to do that I threw this in there basically because it kind of, it's got a punch to it, a raspberry punch. Even though it's kind of thin, it still has a nice kind of punchy raspberry for any type of candy. All right. I'm going to talk about this one, even though I would assume you can still find it in places. I have not checked Noms to see if they still have it, but it's the Vape Train Shisha Raspberry. I know DIY E-Juice there in Canada carries a lot of Vape Train stuff still, and it seems like they're still getting resupplied because they'll sell out of one and then a month later it'll be back. Same thing with Noms. Sour Lemon, I bought them out of Sour Lemon at one point, and maybe 2-3 weeks later they had a bunch more. Seems like they always have fizzy sherbet in stock, and it's one of the few flavors they sell in 120 milliliter bottles. With the DIY E-Juice, I don't know if this is just them renaming it, but they've started to rename all the Vape Train stuff Impact flavors. I'm assuming that's just a DIY E-Juice rename, kind of like you see Flavor Express named all kinds of different stuff depending on what reseller you go to. But I'm just kind of curious if it's not Vape Train actually rebranding themselves and we're just starting to see it. I have no idea. I've tried to reach out to Vape Train God knows how many times, and they never answer back to tell me what's going on. But Noms did tell me they are still getting resupplied with most everything they had already released. This one, I like this one probably more than most people do. I don't know. It's not as good of a Shisha Raspberry as Inawera, but I find it has uses. It's not quite as syrupy as Inawera, but it is a little bit syrupy. So if Inawera is too much for you, this generally works pretty good. You definitely need another raspberry with it because the raspberry flavor overall is not, it's not as tart and kind of punchy as I would like from a raspberry, but I do think it's useful. All right. What else we got over here? Take a look at the Perillum Raspberry. I think this is candy. I've heard people say they think it's pretty authentic, but to me, it's very candy. It's bright, it's juicy, it's pretty punchy. The body to it is, it's decent. Overall, it's a decent raspberry. I just don't find myself using it too much. They have another raspberry I use a lot more, but I do see this used quite often, and it seems to be kind of one of the few Perillum flavors that seems like every reseller keeps in stock. The other one you don't hardly see anywhere is the sour raspberry candy, and I have no idea why like Bull City doesn't sell this anymore. I'm guessing it just didn't sell very well. It's not sour, of course. Now if you taste it off the hand, it tastes sour, but of course it's not going to translate in vape form very well. But it's still a damn good candy raspberry. It is really bright, really punchy. Neil Pitts, what's up, brother? So yeah, I really dig this. I use this all the time. I pair it with Wonder Flavors Sour Blue Raspberry Candy to give it kind of a little bit more of a raspberry kick. I use this instead of Inawera Raspberry for that particular case, or Sweet Raspberry anymore. I only know of one place, one reseller that still has this. I believe it's tasted there in Canada. So being it's in Canada, it costs a bit of an arm and a leg. Don't know if it's worth all that considering there are other candy raspberries that'll work. But for me personally, I like this one so much that I don't mind. I don't mind ordering this thing from Canada. I'm not even sure Perillum still makes it, really, because a lot of places that claim they carry all of Perillum's flavors don't have this. So I don't know if it's just Taste It still has a bunch of it or what. If they don't make it anymore, that's really sad because I really, really dig this flavor, especially for doing any type of candy raspberry or to pair with a blue raspberry. As far as other candy raspberries go, this, I don't know, this is not really a raspberry, but it is. Everybody probably knows this one, Flavor West Razzleberry. It's a nice kind of raspberry, blackberry candy type of mix, but it definitely, at least in my opinion, for my taste, leans far more towards a candy raspberry. This is another one we're going to use today to do my sour raspberry candy recipe that I've been working on. And I think this is the first recipe I've ever done that razzleberry is like the primary flavor for it. But a ton of people love this flavor. You see this used all over the place. Any type of candy, mixed berry or raspberry, or even if you need to sweeten up a blackberry, this works pretty good. As long as you know it's definitely candy, and if you throw it in anything, it's gonna bend it towards a candy finish. All right, another newer candy one that I really dig is Wonder Flavor's raspberry gummy candy. Now this, out of their gummy candies, you know, the problem with them all seems to be not many of them are actually gummy at all, really. This one actually is fairly gummy. You still are going to need something like 27 Bears or Wonder Flavors sour gummy candy, Perillum jelly candy, something along those lines to really make it a full-blown raspberry gummy. But it does have its own little bit of gummy, more so than probably any of their other ones, except for maybe the mango gummy candy. I think that one has the most gumminess out of any of them. But this is a really, really nice candy syrupy raspberry, which is kind of weird, but it also makes sense in trying to do a gummy candy. So yeah, I really dig this one. This is probably one I use more so than shisha raspberry anymore, as far as wanting a syrupy kind of raspberry, unless I'm doing something like a raspberry lemonade or raspberry drink of some kind. I'll always go for anywhere a shisha raspberry, because this being a gummy candy just tastes weird in any of those applications, but it's still a really, really good flavor. This is one of my favorite, and I think one of a lot of people's favorites, is SSA raspberry syrup. This was another one I ran out of, and I thought, great, I'm not going to be able to cover raspberry syrup. And I found I still had a 10 ml of it, so that's nice. This is extremely good. It definitely is syrupy. It comes across as like a raspberry sauce. Only problem with this is it's kind of dry. It will dry your palate out pretty quickly, especially single flavor. It's extremely dry, which is weird for a syrup, and it does have kind of a syrup consistency and texture to it, but for some reason it just dries you out. So if you're going to use this, you definitely want to use maybe another raspberry that's more juicy, or, you know, kind of the old tricks for adding juiciness, cactus, flavor art pear, apricot. Any of those will work well with this to kind of get rid of that dryness. But yeah, by itself, it's pretty damn dry after you vape it for a little bit, but extremely good. Taste is absolutely amazing. SSA has a bunch of other raspberry flavors. They've got some newer ones like the raspberry fruity type. I don't have that one either because I only ordered it in a 10 ml just to see if I actually liked it or not. And it was really good, but I have not reordered it. One that I do have that you don't see many places, I know Noms carries it because that's where I got it, is this raspberry sour type, which is not the name of it in Europe. It's raspberry coulis, I think is how you say it, which is basically a raspberry sauce with lemon juice in it. Bunch of sugar, raspberry, lemon juice, and then you kind of strain out the seeds and the thick syrup you're left with that's very tangy and tart is basically this. I mean, this tastes pretty much like raspberry with a little bit of lime juice thrown in there. So sour's not completely accurate, but it's definitely a tart raspberry with some lemon added in there. The raspberry is really good. The lemon that's in there is extremely good. I really wish they could take the lemon that was in here, isolate it, and then release like a sweet lemon, maybe. Just like that, because so many of SSA's lemons are really potent, and I wish they had one that was a little bit more mellowed out sometimes. And the lemon that's in here is definitely that. But I really dig this flavor. I've noticed like Noms has it always on sale, so I'm guessing it's not selling very well. I've noticed a couple other people describe this as just a tart raspberry, and it's really not doing it justice by just saying it's another tart raspberry candy flavor, because you can taste the lemon in this. So it's a really unique raspberry flavor if you ask me, but I dig this one as well. All right, what else do I got over here? I've got Apple Raz from Flavora. They were nice enough to send me that whole new line that they recently did. Well, not recently, several months back, but I think it's their newest. And this is one out of that line that I really, really dug, was this Apple Raz. The apple in it is definitely the most forward aspect of it, but you can still taste the raspberry. I would say it falls into artificial. Definitely not authentic, but it's also not really candy, so it's kind of in that mid-range. You could probably lean it towards either one, candy or authentic, but if you're going to lean it towards authentic, you're going to need some help in both the apple and the raspberry department. But it's very sweet. It's the apple in it is juicy. The raspberry that's in it is fairly tart, and it just has a nice kind of syrupy raspberry in there. This is a damn good flavor if you ask me. I really dig this one. All right, I think that's all the raspberries that I have over here. I'm going to jump back up top for a minute. There's a few things I always like mixing with raspberries, especially because normally when I do raspberries, I'm shooting for a candy. So, let's see here. Sour ball candy from Wonder Flavors. This is a weird flavor if you don't know it or don't own it. By itself, it tastes like absolutely nothing. Just PG. That's what it tastes like. It's PG. And I've seen recipes with this in there at like 0.5%, and I don't know what they're getting out of it. They must be far more sensitive to whatever's in here than I am. I have to at least use it at 1.5% to really start to get kind of the tart, almost sour. Now, I Am Sam did a recipe recently where he was really trying to get sour without kind of, doing something like using Sour Wizard at 5% or anything crazy like that. So he put this in there at 3% and then also used sweet and sour rhubarb. And it worked really well. This, especially at 3%, it's actually somewhat tart that high. Well, somewhat sour, I should say, that high. Basically tart as far as you can push it before it should become sour. But given it's in a vape form, it doesn't fully pull that off. But it's really damn close up that high. So I've started to do a bunch of recipes where this is a lot higher, 3. I've done a couple at 3.5, and it works really, really well. I thought it was kind of going to be the same thing as doing something nuts with Sour Wizard or Liquid Barn Sour where it just starts to destroy your coils and cottons the more you push it up. But this so far has not done that. Another one to add that I like to add with raspberry candies is the Wonder Flavor Sour Gummy Candy. We talked about it a little bit before. I have a feeling most people probably at least somewhat familiar with it. Gummy, it's got a lot more gummy than most of their gummy candies. The sour aspect of it, it's like, if you think about like a Sour Patch Kid and all the kind of sugary crystals that also have been coated in malic acid or citric acid. It's like that, but they didn't coat it a whole lot with malic acid or citric acid. So it's very tart, and it definitely gives that kind of consistency of that sugary outer coating that a candy like that has, which is one of the reasons I really like it. But it's just really tart, not really sour. I tend to use this higher than most people, 2.5 sometimes, just mainly to get that really tart kind of sweetener crystals you find on so many sour candies. Another one out of that newer Flavora line was Tart Blast. I'm absolutely in love with this flavor. It's very much just kind of citric acid. I mean, it tastes almost like lemon lime juice mixed together. There's no real, it's not definitive lemon, it's not definitive lime, but it just tastes like an extremely tart citrus. Just some undescript citrus flavor, the juice from it, and it's extremely tart. Definitely don't want to go very high at all with this. 0.25 to 0.5% is going to be probably all that you need. I've seen some recipes with it at like 0.15. It's kind of one of those, you'll see a lot of it like 0.4, maybe 0.6 if they're feeling lucky, I guess. But it works extremely good to add tart, not sour. It just gives that citric tart note to everything, and it does it extremely well. I'm going through tart things because that's normally what I'm going for in raspberries, and it's also what we're going to do as far as a recipe. Now, one that I really like that I don't think hardly anybody else does, or I won't say hardly anybody else, but anytime I put it in a recipe, it's kind of like that recipe gets ignored, or I have a lot of people that ask me, hey, what can I sub for that? And it's Loran's Tart and Sour. I think this is an absolutely amazing additive. Does not do sour, really. It will tarten up just about anything. You add it to any type of fruit or candy, it's going to brighten the all living hell out of whatever that is. It tends to be more the reason I use it than for the tartness. It just brightens up fruits big time. One thing is, don't use it in anything where you're trying to do just mildly artificial, or if you're going for authentic, because it's 100% going to turn your recipe into candy whether you want it to or not. Just because of that brightness to it, the added tartness, it's almost like putting whatever your recipe is in like a candy coating. There's just no way around it. But I still really, really dig this flavor. I wish I saw it in more recipes, but the ones you tend to see it in are older. You don't see a whole lot of newer recipes unless they're my recipes. So yeah, but I think it's extremely good. All right. Hot back up top. That's all as far as the additives I tend to use with raspberries, especially raspberry candies. And then most of the sour ones have been kind of my personal preference lately with doing recipes, has kind of been trying to chase a sour candy, even though fully aware that's probably never going to happen unless I do jackass mixing. I don't know if you guys remember, there was a episode of the original Noted where Concrete River talked about jackass mixing, where he used Capella Sweet Guava at 20%. And then he used, I think Flavor West sweetener. It might have been Super Sweet, but I can't remember, at like 5%. And then Sour Wizard at 5%. And I have mixed that up along with a couple of other ones. I also did Green Apple Hard Candy at 20% with I think I use Flavor West sweetener at 5, and then Sour Wizard at 5, and it is sweet, but you have to change your cotton every other day because it just ruins them. All right. Also, if you guys know of or have a recipe that's raspberry that you want to see us mix up tonight, put it in chat. If you got a link to it, that would be awesome. But I have to have all the ingredients, so we'll take a look at a couple of different ones. But right now, the one that I really want to take a look at is the one I've been messing with here recently. And that's this one right here. It's my sour raspberry candy, one I was talking about earlier. But I really dig what's going on with this one so far. Whoops. Here we go. I've tried a few different ways on this one. Capella switched with FA's raspberry. I had raspberry gummy candy in it at one point. And yeah, I'm liking it better at this point, but I have not tried this yet with the TPA raspberry in here. So I think we're going to do that and just see how it goes. All right. Let me catch up in chat here for a second. Love to review the Ampere 21. Mine just got here a few weeks ago. Freaking love it, bro. Awesome review you did on it. Thank you very much, Paul. I love the Ampere 21. It quickly became my favorite mechanical mod ever, and it's kind of shelved all my other mechanical mods, at least at the moment. Most lemons I have taste like a meringue. There are a lot of lemons that taste like a meringue. Any of the like lemon Sicily, like Capella's Italian lemon Sicily, or Flavor Arts lemon Sicily, to me they very much taste like kind of like a lemon meringue without the toasted note. Don't use much raspberry in mixing. It's a profile I don't like. I've seen that a lot more, or heard that from people a lot more than I thought I would. That's what Dinner Lady is. It's supposed to be a sweet lemon meringue. Huh. See? Great feeling when you mix and nail an all-day flavor. I agree. Once you kind of hit it. This one that I've been vaping on throughout this is my sour watermelon lemonade. It's not an actual watermelon lemonade. It's a candy, basically. If you had a watermelon lemonade hard candy, that's what it is. But it's really tart, and it has that nice kind of like the coating we were talking about earlier, like the sugar coating that's really tart, almost sour. It's got that going on, and I really, really dig it. I need to mess with it some, and I've got the watermelons I've got in here are Wonder Flavors, Watermelon Candy Extra Sour, and SSA Sweet Watermelon. I think I need to up SSA Sweet Watermelon. The only problem with this liquid is it tastes great when you first start vaping it, but as you go throughout the day, it's like the Watermelon Candy Extra Sour and the Sour Gummy Candy kind of burn your taste buds out. So you start to taste less and less of the sweet watermelon candy. If you set it down and walk away from it, vape something else, go eat something to cleanse your palate, and you come back to it, it'll punch you in the face with watermelon all over again. But it's just like it wears your taste buds out the more you continuously keep vaping it. Give me all the sugary dessert stuff. I'm weird about guava. Tastes the same as cat pee smells to me. I have heard that too, where people think guava tastes like, especially guava flavorings, taste like a little bit of ammonia. Sounds like you get heavy ammonia off it, which sucks because there's some good guavas out there. I definitely want to do one of these where we focus on guava, because there's a lot of guavas out there, but there's only really probably about 4 guavas that I think are even usable. There's a ton of terrible ones. You got the silvered stack. Nice. I've got the silvered one sitting over there. I really dig that one. The button on it was a little louder than I thought it would be, but I swapped it to the copper button and all of a sudden it's fine now. Doesn't make any noise. Only raspberry recipe I've tried and liked so far is Raspberry Cream Donut by Rugley, but I'll try the ones that you mixed tonight. I have not tried the Raspberry Cream Donut by him. He's an extremely good mixer though. Never mixed, not a year vaping yet. I want to though soon. It's another kind of rabbit hole to go down in vaping, but at the same time, it seems kind of expensive to get into, but once you do, as long as you don't go overboard buying flavorings that you'll never use or use once, you actually end up saving a lot of money. Yeah, you have to rotate 2 or 3 flavors regularly. See, normally I don't. I guess it's just the recipes I normally, like my vanilla overdose custard, it never wears out for some reason. Like I never get sick of it and it never wears my taste buds out. This is one of the first ones for me that like does it so quickly. I've got other recipes that, yeah, over a day or two, it'll start to wear my taste buds out. But this one is like same day, it will start to kind of wear it out. It still tastes really good, but the watermelon just gets extremely light in it after a little while. I myself lean towards spinning wire aspect of vaping over the mixing aspect. That's always good though. The one I've made with raspberry is a white peach from FA 2%, sweet raspberry TPA 1%, and super sweet 1%. I bet that's actually really good. Sometimes, man, just like 3 flavor bangers or 2 flavor bangers become some of the best, especially if you use the right flavorings, because if you start mixing other things, like say you use 2 or 3 raspberries, it's going to change the overall raspberry flavor. It's going to be a different raspberry than whatever out of those 3 say that you like best. But sometimes if you really get good flavors and you just do 2 or 3 in your mix, it'll be extremely good. Been making coils since June, Paul. That's what I'm enjoying too. Oh, okay. Sorry. Read that totally wrong. You're talking to Paul Cole. My bad. I need to get back to making coils, especially now that Ohms Coils doesn't make anything anymore, which sucks. I hope everything's good with Liam, because I don't really know what went down as far as him stopping making coils. It was kind of sudden. But yeah, it really sucks that he stopped. Specific recipe I want to make, and I feel it would be expensive to try and figure out. What's the specific recipe you want to make? All right. Go ahead and mix it. So I don't have the camera over the recipe or over the scale, mainly because sometimes I find that to be, I don't know, a little boring just to watch somebody drip liquid into a bottle. But let's go ahead and mix this one up real quick. So we got cap raspberry. Like I said, a thinner raspberry for sure, but it's pretty bright and punchy. At 2 point, actually, we should probably go ahead and switch to mix. We're gonna do 10 milliliters. I'm not gonna put additive. I guess I'm gonna say additive from now on, since YouTube is in their biannual go crazy on vape channels mode. All right, so 0.25. There we go. CFA raspberry, 0.15. One thing about Capella's raspberry, man, It smells amazing. Its smell is a little deceiving. It's good. It tastes good. Just thin, like I said, but it doesn't taste anywhere near as good as it smells. All right. Flavor West Razzleberry. 0.4. Like I said, I think this is the first recipe I've ever done where razzleberry was the primary flavor. Kind of the flavor that everything got built around. But it's extremely good. It smells amazing too. Ooh. All right, so next is the sour ball candy that we used at 3%, thanks to I Am Sam. I need to go review his recipe. I don't think it has any reviews, but I really dug that recipe. So 0.3. Then sour gummy candy, 0.2. There we go. Super sweet. Basically 1 drop. Right, I'm not going to stick additive like I said, so PG is 2.72. I don't know what my daughter is listening to or playing in the other room, but it sounds like somebody just keeps dying over and over again. All right, there we go. Grab a top. I'm gonna go ahead and switch back up. So really, I could have started this stream about 30 minutes early and done it part build stream, part live mixing. So I built up nitrous, and then the newer nitrous, I got the yin yang. Dig the look of that yin yang. All right. See what I missed in chat. Steve-O, what's up, brother? Thought this was tomorrow, man. I got my days mixed up. Glad I caught you. I am too, man. Raspberry custard and raspberry custard donut are the only raspberry juices I vape. Raspberry custard sounds, that's one I've never done. I do like the overdose custard recipes where I try and pump the whatever the primary flavor is up as high as I can without it getting weird or off tasting, and then put it in a nice little custard base, usually that's also fairly high. But I don't think I've done raspberry. I did butterscotch, vanilla, strawberry. I've done a lemon one, but I've never been really happy with it, and I haven't gone back to it. And I did a hazelnut one. But a raspberry one sounds damn good. And this smells damn good. Let's see how it tastes off the knuckle. Oh, it tastes really good too. There we go. Getting a little messy over here. The only downside with the nitrous and the beauty rings they have for it they're so tight on there that when you're kind of dripping and firing your fresh wick job, when you put the cap back on, if any liquid's gotten down in the space between the deck and the beauty ring, it just goes up and over. All right, let's see how this goes. It's really good. It's very bright and punchy. The aftertaste to it is amazing. It's like a raspberry hard candy. If you know, like the strawberry hard candies that have like the strawberry, I don't know, jelly is the best way I can think of to describe it. In the middle, it almost tastes like a raspberry version of that, especially on the aftertaste. I really dig this one. I gotta say, I kind of wish there was, I don't know, a little more top note edge to this. So like on the initial inhale, it just hits you in the face with raspberry. Kind of does, but not quite as much as I would want. But it may also be still breaking these wicks in, or this wick. Let's see, what else did I miss? Twisted Timmy's all the way. Love Timmy's coils too. A Star Crunch from Little Debbie. I don't know if that'd be like super expensive to make. There's like a few different rice crunchies flavorings out there. The chocolate part of it would be hard to get right, just because chocolate's always such a bitch to work with. Okay, yeah. It's just breaking that wick in. The more that I keep vaping on this, the brighter and punchier the initial raspberry is. It's really tart. It's not sour. You get almost a hint of sour on the aftertaste, but it's kind of like that where you've already eaten a Sour Patch Kid, and then you've got kind of that sour sprinkles aftertaste to it. It's not really sour, but it's extremely tart. So I dig that about it as well. Tried to order a blue nitrous, but they're out of stock at Dan Vape and everywhere else. And Dan Vape says they won't be back in stock. Yeah, I wanted to get the Night Elf nitrous, but they were sold out of them. And I was basically told the same thing. So I don't know. It makes me wonder if they're going to do a nitrous V2 sometime soon, because you know, they've always restocked up on every single color of the nitrous for a while now. Because, I mean, this came out in what? 2021 or 22, something like that. And they've just kept everything in stock. So if they're kind of, once they sell out, they're not going to do any anymore. Wondering if they're about to come out with either a V2 or kind of another variation on the nitrous similar to the RDTA. I wish they would do a 25 millimeter or 24 millimeter nitrous. It's just a straight RDA. Finally got a nitrous, and now I want one in every color I can get. Must have been one of the last people to finally get one. It is kind of like that because they're extremely good. So once you get one, you're like, I don't care if I'm buying the same atomizer over and over and over again. I want the different colors, damn it. And there's a subtle difference too between like the dual cap only nitrous and like the global version. It seems like it's easier for me to slightly over drip the global version than it is the nitrous like dual coil only version. They said something new is coming. Yeah, hopefully that's what's going on. Just got my nitrous last month and same, I want all the colors. Yeah, it's a bit of an addicting RDA. I think it's so good that, and you know, it's not ridiculously expensive that it's like, hey, I want more of these. My thoughts were that chocolate would be hard and mouthfeel. Never mixed. My 1 year I'll be buying mixing stuff. I don't know if the mouthfeel would be so hard. I don't know, it might. Because that kind of has a thick chewiness to the star crunches. That might be a little hard to get. But it would be interesting. I think it would, you probably learn an absolute ton about mixing and flavors just trying to do that right off the bat. But I don't know if I'd recommend like immediately going for that. Maybe do some simpler recipes that are on ELR or all the flavors that kind of 5-star recipes that you know people really dig. Blue is just my thing. Yeah. I'm that way with orange if nobody noticed. There's so much orange on my desk. All right, let me find this other recipe real quick. This is really good. Overall, I really dig this recipe. I think I might tweak it just a little bit before I make it public, but it's basically going to be the same thing. All right. Here we go. This one is raspberry lemon. Oh, I'm gonna have to go grab pink lemonade. But with this one, basically the raspberry sour kind of made me think, and then I saw a couple recipes that were raspberry and lemons mixed, and I really just wanted to try straight up raspberry and lemon mixture of an e-liquid that wasn't necessarily authentic but wasn't candied per se, just kind of in the artificial realm. Let me grab Flavora's pink lemonade because we're going to need that. Here we go. I dig Flavora's pink lemonade. The only problem with it is it's kind of weak. Even when you start to pump it up more, I don't know, it's just a mildly weak flavor. All right, go ahead and hit mix on this. So basically what I got going on, Flavora pink lemonade, Flavora sweetness to sweeten it all up, but as I always say, use whatever sweetener you like. FA raspberry or barrel at 1.5, FA pear at 0.75. That's to kind of make this a little bit juicier. With it having the raspberry sour type and a little bit of Inaware raspberry, and kind of dry it out just slightly so the pear was to juice it all up. Inaware raspberry at 0.25. Now I know that seems extremely low, but for Inaware raspberry, it will definitely work in this instance. It's mainly here for kind of tartness and to just punch up the overall raspberry taste. Then the SSA raspberry sour type. I haven't seen a single public recipe on all the flavors that uses this flavor. So this turns out to be decent. I may be posting the first recipe for it. We'll see. All right. I dig that image. I want 10 milliliters, my usual tester amount. All right. Actually, I'm gonna have to grab pear as well, I think. I don't think I have it over here. Yeah, let's just go ahead and do that before I start. Might take. No. I'm not sure what I've done with. Where it's supposed to be. Un momento. There we go. I almost always forget about it. I've got this big tote, and the flavorings that are in it are kind of the ones I've been messing with recently. And so I tend to forget when I get off of those flavors where I put them. I really need to put them all back. All right. So FA raspberry, start off 0.15. And like I said, that's probably the raspberry you're going to see in more recipes than any other. Flavor Rock pear, 0.08. Vora pink lemonade, 0.25. Now I didn't pump up pink lemonade like I would if I was going for a lemonade recipe. 2.5 is still somewhat high, or no, I've got it at 2.25. But because I didn't really want this to be a lemonade, it was just kind of to add another lemon flavor to it, but also kind of keep it in the more juicier or kind of wet category. All right, so next is Inaware raspberry. Damn good raspberry. It'd be like if I was gonna pick what's the best raspberry flavor overall, I would think I would be hard pressed to pick anything over Inaware raspberry. Just if I had to pick one out of all of them, it would probably be Inaware raspberry. 0.03, so just basically one drop. Then the raspberry sour type from SSA, 0.2. Sweetness. I really dig Flavora's sweetness. It's I'm pretty sure it's stevia based. So like it doesn't gunk up your coils anything crazy. But it also doesn't tend to brighten up fruits quite the way that Capella Super Sweet does, because it doesn't have the citric acid in it. PG is 3.37. But I still like it better usually. Basically because it doesn't do that whole gunk my coils up. It still works extremely well. It works amazing in creams or custards. I don't think any other sweetener works as good with creams, custards, and bakeries as Flavor Sweetness does. Which is kind of weird because I remember when it came out, a lot of people were like, oh, this is not going to be very good for bakeries and things like that. It'll be great for candies and fruits, but and then I thought it really kind of was the opposite. It does good in fruits and candies, but not quite as good as super sweet, but does better than anything in creams and bakeries and all that jazz. All right. I go balls to the wall first and fall, then build up. First aliens or buttes. Nice. Want to try Vic's Peach Custard. Another one that sounds good. Keep forgetting to restock Raspberry FA. I've been using a lot of premium raspberry and raspberry gummy candy. Premium raspberry is really good. I actually do have it. That's one we didn't cover. I think because I'm like, well, they're not making that anymore, so hell with that flavor. And I don't know why. SSA does that with so many things. They will make a flavor that absolutely blows everything else in that category away, or add something to whatever that profile is that no other flavor does, and then it doesn't sell quite to their expectations, so they just cancel it. Premium raspberry, double cream was probably the biggest letdown for me when they quit making it, because there really wasn't anything that pulled off double cream quite the same way. You can take this off here. We'll give it a little bit of a knuckle test too before we try vaping it. It smells damn good. Mr. Free, what's up? Okay. This will work. Did the same thing, got in between the deck and the O-ring. As soon as I put the top cap on it, and it went everywhere. All right, so we got about 55 watts. Build I got in this is 0.15. It's dual coil build. See how it goes. I cranked that up a little bit, but I gotta say that tasted extremely good. Hmm. Yeah, Mr. Free totally missed the stripper. All right, I gotta look at this to see what's off. I want to say we may try this again. Actually, I want to say that the raspberry sour type is too high. Yeah. It's so weird. The taste coming off this is weird. Like, it's hard to describe. Like, I know Inaware Raspberry is not up high enough to be giving off any type of floral, and this isn't really floral coming off of it. I can't even hardly describe it. All right, let me look at this real quick. I'm going to decide what I want to change on this. We're definitely going to take raspberry sour type down. I'm going to up Inaware Raspberry. And FA Raspberry. This is basically, I'm assuming this is the same way everybody kind of gets recipes down. Is I'll kind of theory craft it where I'm like, okay, I know how these flavors taste, so this is about where I think it needs to be. And this is the first time of me trying this recipe, period. It tastes good off the finger, but when you vape it, something happens. All right. So basically what I did, I changed FA Raspberry from 1.5 to 2, changed Inaware Raspberry from 0.25 to 0.5, and then SSA Raspberry I took from 2% down to 1.25, because I think that is what's causing a little bit of weirdness on the aftertaste. So let's try this again. All right. Another bottle over here. I'll try and book it through this preparation of it. Jump back up top. I'm still firmly believing that the idea behind this is sound. Just think it's the execution of the flavorings that's off. CJ, what's up? I'm still loving those buttons. I tried the locking one, and it works really well. Also, I still like the 3-piece no lock button better, but the locking button works really good as well. All right, actually. If anyone's curious, it's the Smock Mag 18. All right, let's try the new remix of this and hope. I don't know, the raspberry sour might not have been the raspberry to use in this. Floral is the only way I can think to describe it, but it's not floral in what you would normally think. It's not like perfume or just a big bouquet of flowers. It's got a weird, somewhat floral aftertaste, almost like if you ate a raspberry that still had part of the green leaf on it. I'm wondering if we want to try it one more time, but try something different. Like use the pink lemonade, but then maybe use FE lemon. And maybe another raspberry. Little bit like botanicals. Yeah, but it's just like a teeny bit on the aftertaste. Willie, what's up, brother? And I mean, it may be something that steeps out. All the flavors surrounding that little bit of off note, it's good. It's raspberry with lemons. It's juicy. But yeah, that little bit of almost green or underripe raspberry is there. Mag 18, can anyone tell me the resistance or ID of coil he's using? The coils that are in here are 2.5 millimeter ID coils coming out to 0.15. Fresh alien build tonight. How about yourself? I'm doing great, man. I think this SSA raspberry sour might not have been the flavoring to go for this one, but I still think the concept is sound. What time is it? Yeah, let's try one more. The first one that we did, the raspberry sour candy, turned out amazing. I thought that was extremely good. Is what I've got in this one. Yeah, that's really good. All right. Let me revamp this recipe one more time and see what we get. Let's take the raspberry sour type out. Excuse me. Hmm. And let's try Perillum's raspberry. All right. Let me grab the FE lemon, which should be right up. I love FE lemon. Okay. So essentially what I did, I left barrel the FA raspberry where it is, added 1% of FE lemon, and then added 0.1 or 1.5% Perillum raspberry to kind of make up for not having raspberry sour type in there. Because I'm pretty sure the raspberry sour type is mixing with one of these other ones to give it a weird floral edge. That botanical was kind of a good word for it. All right. All right, got it at 10. Here we go. FA raspberry. FE lemon. Some pear. Pink lemonade. And Perillum raspberry. One thing I've noticed with Flavora sweetness, it's really thin. So you got to kind of be careful dripping it out of the bottle. Otherwise you'll be going for, 0.5 or whatever, depending on how big a size you're using, and you'll end up with like 1. All right, PG. Do, 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 do. I need like weight music for filling up flavorings and base. All right. Put that down. Let's see how it smells. Oh, oh. It smells extremely good now. Like it didn't smell bad before. It smelled good. But now the lemon is a little more prominent. And the raspberry a little more vivid smelling at least. All right. Oh yeah. Already leagues better. A lot better right there. So yeah, I think that's probably clicking on the wrong things. Go back to it. There we go. So yeah, I think this is probably closer. It might be spot on. It is damn good. But I'll probably play around with this one a little bit more before I make it public. But it's a lot better now. The other one, get to see some stuff I'm working on. This one right here, the sour raspberry candy, that will go public probably right after the stream, or maybe first thing in the morning, but probably right after the stream, because I think this one is really good. Only thing I might play with on this is upping TPA raspberry and lowering Capella raspberry a little bit, maybe almost perfectly swapping them. Or do TFA raspberry at 2 and then Capella raspberry at 1.5 or 1.75. Just to try that combo before I fully decide on something else. All right. Cicero, what's up, brother? Cicero finally made it. We got to start over. I'm going to go through all these raspberry flavors again. Then we're going to mix up both. I got to fuck up on the second one at least twice, you know, like I did the first time, and then redo it. What's up, Cicero? All right, what did I miss? Dual coil literally just took out the 2.5s, been using non-stop, and installed 3.5 single vaping nitrous and single coil for the best time. Third drip. These two are singles. Both of those are single coil, but with the yin yang, I don't know. I wanted to do some dual coil action. Let's see here. I always got a mech with me. Dreamer 1.5 with the RDA2 is a beast. That is a damn good combo. Let's see here. Well, trying to see what all I missed. All right. And Amy Wagner, what's up? Guarantee you'll love the performance off it. Operates best 4-5 rep tri-cores. Make sure to play with the coil height on account of the hood. I didn't see what he said first. Clone, I hear that performs nearly as well. Comes with a slew of air pins. Oh, okay. Let's see what you guys are talking about now. All right. Heavy hitter is good. Love mine. Just put it away for now. I like the heavy hitter. I just cannot stand that locking mechanism. It's the same thing with the Dreamer clutch. Love the Dreamer clutch. Hate that locking mechanism. But luckily that button, that straight 8 vaping scent, kind of fixed that whole thing. It's a little loose. I almost kind of want to play around with seeing if I can make it a little tighter. I don't know how though. Just off work. I'm the only bilingual one of the crew, so I'm closing manager, basically second shift. Ugh. Although I can't say much. I work second, so I know how that goes. Still have only Wednesday and Thursday off. Otherwise, I'll be on graveyard shift starting at 7. Ouch. As I'm vaping through what was kind of still in the coil and cotton from the first time we mixed up this raspberry lemon, it's getting even better. I think it was still, some of that original was still bleeding through. But it still needs help. So that recipe won't go public until I kind of bang it out and figure out what all exactly is going on with it. But the sour raspberry candy will either go up as soon as we're done here, or if I do decide to play with it a little bit, probably tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon, something like that. I do want to try and swap the prevalence of TPA raspberry versus Capella just to see how that tastes. But the only thing I'm worried about with that, if I lower Capella too much, it probably won't come through very much at all. It's kind of like most Capella flavors, doesn't like to work too great at a lower percentage. Thinking of putting a wider spring in it, but I kind of like how you can push on the side of the bottom. Yeah. The Dreamer have different top caps. It doesn't slope off. The clutch has 2. I think it's what, 25 and 28 millimeter. Sour raspberry candy sounds good. For some reason, I've only ever done bakeries with raspberry. Raspberries do good in bakeries. I've got a raspberry cheesecake recipe that I really dig. Was it Mexican fried? What? Get out of my way, heart. I'm not hearting my own chat. Alright, that was just so I could see what it said. Mexican fried ice cream by Flavor Craver. Mexican fried ice cream, that sounds dope. Huh. Well, let me just look up. All right, is that Mexican fry? Is that a mixer's recipe? Is it a commercial juice? Or is it something different? Hate that damn heart. I know it gets in my way. It's gotten in my way so much tonight, and I don't think I can move it. No, I can't move it around. Pisses me off. Heard it's good off recent UK mix show. Might be on ELR if... Oh, it's a flavor concentrate. A flavor craver. All right, hang on. Well, aha, it's a one shot. Mexican fried ice cream by Flavor Craver. Where am I at? Oh, I'm on Flavor Craver's website. Okay. I'm not going to show this one because it well, actually, I don't think I'll get in trouble because it's just flavoring concentrate. But I'm not going to risk it right now. Sorry, guys. It says complex mix has been loved by many, and once you've tried it, you'll see why. The inhale provides a sweet, rich vanilla ice cream that coats your tongue, followed by an exhale of satisfying cereal. A warming hint of subtle cinnamon, creamy almond, and last but not certainly least, a brief wave of exotic coconut. Oh, that killed it right there for me. Huh. Yeah, the coconut just killed it for me. I hate coconut. Oh, yeah, I found it at the Flavor Craver's website, Mexican fried ice cream. But it's coconut. Like it's got coconut in it, which is like a no-no for me. I like using coconut sometimes in recipes, but like just a touch if I need it to shape the recipe in a particular way, but not taste like coconut. But coconut flavor is not my jam. Thanks for you. No need to apologize. I was curious. Because just like, I don't know if coconut is a staple in Mexican fried ice cream or if it's something they added. Because Mexican fried ice cream just by itself sounds amazing. And the rich vanilla, cereal-like taste, warm, subtle hints of cinnamon and creamy almond. That all sounds absolutely spectacular. Like that makes me want to do that up, just minus the coconut. Eat dinner, y'all. See you on the next one. Stay cloudy. Later on, Paul. Need to get Kaz to get you a Grim collab fried ice cream. I don't know. Coconut is a staple. Yeah, I don't know either. Like if it doesn't have coconut, it's not Mexican fried ice cream anymore. Used to hate coconut. I have a few that I actually like using in mixes. Now, like, there's a sweet coconut that I like using to kind of give consistency a little bit. Microwave oven, what's up, brother? So yeah, like coconut flavors have uses for sure. I just don't like the flavor of coconut. It like even in in real life recipes. So I think I only have maybe 3 coconut flavors. But mainly just because I'm not big on coconut. Not even a Mounds bar, no. I mean, it's called Mounds. What that one comedian say? Only reason to name your candy bar Mounds is if the name Piles was already taken. Used to use Flavor West. There we go. Thank you, Cicero, for just popping in right there. Used to use Flavor West. Pomegranate a lot. Not even a Mounds bar. Nope. Not even Almond Joy. Nom's SC Coconut Macaroon is pretty good. It's a spot on Mounds coconut. Nom's, their flavoring line, they have released a bunch of bangers. I was pretty shocked. Like their coffee, especially. Like I'm always on the hunt for. We'll do a coffee episode too, and you guys can see me lose my mind over coffee flavors. But I dig a good coffee vape when it's done right. Problem is, it's so damn hard to get it right. Nom's coffee is really good. It's the only like dark coffee that I think is actually good. Like this seems like so many companies have a hard time doing dark coffees. Everybody kind of touted the FA, that one dark coffee that I can't remember the full name of it, but I don't think it's very good at all. I get a weird bitter note from it, and not a good coffee bitter note, but just a really weird, bad bitter note to it. But then some of the lighter ones I really like Perillum's caramel coffee with sweet milk. I think is probably my favorite coffee flavor out there. VSO espresso raw is really fucking good. Dark bean espresso, that sounds about right. Now I gotta look it up. I do have all the new flavor art concentrates on the way to me. Well, they don't have it at Noms. And some of those sound extremely good. Hang on, I'm getting there. Pretty sure they still have it. Yeah, here we go. All right, I'm going to show this one because it's just a flavoring and it has nothing to do with. It doesn't say one shot, it doesn't say inhale or any of those. And it's just from Bull City. So Bull City gets shown all the time. So yeah, this dark bean coffee espresso. Like a bunch of people kind of ranted and raved about this one as far as being like the one of the only good dark coffees. And yeah, I get a crazy weird, almost chemical bitter note from it, unfortunately. There's a few others that are dark that I actually like. The Brazilian coffee, Wonder Flavors. I dig this one, but you gotta want kind of a AP or nutty like flavor in there, because apparently it's supposed to have that, being a Brazilian coffee. It's supposed to have that nutty flavor to it. But I found you can also use it low and make another lighter coffee even darker and not get so much of that nutty note to it. But we'll save all that. I'm practically just going into fucking coffee episode right now. I don't want to do that. I do like Perilla. Used to have a cappuccino that was really good, but it's now discontinued. Yeah, Vape Train was the first company I came in contact, I think, with a bunch of good coffee flavors all together. Their Arabica coffee is amazing. Their cafe latte and their caramel mocha are all great. I think you can still get the Arabica and the cafe latte, but the caramel mocha, I don't guess they're making any more, or just Noms and DIY juice aren't getting any more of it. How do I add someone in chat on mobile? Anybody answer that for him? It's just the @ symbol, but then you got to spell out their name, including like spaces, capital letters supposed to be wherever they're at. It doesn't pop up their name like it does in like a browser, like once you get started. But yeah, if you do the @ symbol and then their handle exactly as it's there in chat, it'll @ somebody that way. Yeah, I dig that. I dig that sour raspberry candy. All right. Used to be you could click name and reply, but I think that's mod specific. It very well could. I've always had to type it out. Strawberries have less than a dozen compounds that create their flavor. Coffee and chocolate have more than 3 dozen, which makes it near impossible to extract companies to nail the flavor. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. But yeah, I like the Noms coffee a lot. I dig that one. And I dig VSO's espresso, especially the raw version. Well, I guess that's all VSO is anymore now, is just the raws. Actually, I'm kind of bummed that all of the extremes went away. There was some of the extreme line that were really good. The Blue Raz Extreme is pretty much a one shot. You could mix that up and then maybe add a little bit of maybe Inaware raspberry at like 0.25 would be all you'd need to up that raspberry a little bit, or something like Flavora boysenberry to give it that kind of berry, a little bit more of a heavy berry note. But it was damn good just by itself. Use RY4 double to simulate coffee. I could see that. I really like Folk Arts Holy RY4. I've got a coffee recipe that uses that in there. I love mixing up coffee and RY4 together, but because they're so similar. So yeah, I could totally see using RY4 double to simulate a coffee flavor for sure. What now? Fried ice cream, it's been so long. And that don't sound like any fried ice cream I've had. Oh, the one that, the Mexican fried ice cream, the vanilla ice cream, satisfying cereal, warm hints of cinnamon, creamy almond, and last but certainly not least, a wave of disgusting coconut. Yeah, that's pretty much what RY8 by Flavor Express is nothing but coffee. Their RY4 has a hint of that coffee note to it as well, but that RY8, I mean, it's basically a coffee flavor. Now I gotta look up what traditionally goes in Mexican fried ice cream. That's not how you spell Mexican. The original Chi-Chi's Mexican fried ice cream. Is that really the original? Is Mexican fried ice cream really Chi-Chi's? Okay. Let's see. Original Chi-Chi. I don't. Surely Mexican fried ice cream was around before Chi-Chi's. So French vanilla, ice cream cinnamon sugar mix, cornflake crumbles. I guess that's the cereal. Freeze to harden. Place ice cream ball in a fry basket and deep fry for 2 seconds at 350 degrees. So it's got flour tortilla, sugar, cinnamon, French vanilla ice cream, cornflakes, whipped cream, maraschino cherry, and honey. Now that doesn't sound bad. And there's no coconut to it. That would be something fun to try. Hey, here we go. But to try and do like a Mexican fried ice cream recipe like that. And who is it that has that newer maraschino cherry that's really good? I think it's SSA. We might have to do that on a live mixing stream as well. Try and nail. I guess we're going to try and nail Chi-Chi's Mexican fried ice cream, but whatever. Yeah, it doesn't sound like it'd be too hard to do up in vape form. These vape trains, French vanilla ice cream or something similar. Mix some ice cream with French vanilla thick. Capella cinnamon or the silver line cinnamon sugar might work. SSA maraschino cherry. Whipped cream, depending on probably Wonder Flavors whipped cream fresh for it to sit on top. Maybe cereal 27 for the cornflake. Honey, I don't know. We might leave honey out. I don't know. Well, we could use VSO honey. I think I've still got some of the original VSO honey. It works really good and doesn't leave that horrible cat piss room note. That's something I'd like to give a go. I can part with coconut. Yeah, same here. I can part with coconut for sure. Some medicine flower French vanilla. I can't bring myself to buy anything medicine flower. But yeah, I'm sure that would work. Before a sweet crunch, yeah, that would work. The fried ice cream I've tried is just the cornflake coating over the vanilla ice cream, fried then drizzled with honey. Yeah. I'd want to try Nom's vanilla ice cream and something like that. Yeah, that would good. Yeah, that medicine flower is expensive. It's ridiculously expensive, I think, for, I don't know. The only one that I really thought about laying the money down for is because I'm on the constant search for an actually really good blackberry flavor. And some people were like, well, that's it. It's Flavor Monks and medicine flower, and that's about it. And Flavor Monks blackberry is damn good, but it's still not exactly what I want. So it makes me curious about medicine flower, and it tempts me to spend that ridiculous amount of money for, you know, what is it, a 30 mil, 15 mil? I don't want to vape medicine or flower. Bought a couple because Fitty promotes them. Like, yeah, he does. He loves them. And I mean, I've heard other people really praise medicine flower as being, you know, just absolutely amazing flavorings for the most part. You can call medicine flower, I heard, and buy, you stupid heart, 3 7 ml sample sizes. That might be worth a shot just to see some of the ones that I'm curious about, especially that blackberry. Their blueberry is something I cannot live without. It's just unfortunate that their prices are so high. I wouldn't mind trying the blueberry as well, but I don't know. One of these days I might bite the bullet and get some medicine flower. I definitely want to try the blackberry. And blueberry, if it's better than VSO blueberry raw, I'll be amazed. All right, what time is it? It's almost 10. All right, guys, I'm going to call it. Like I said, the sour raspberry candy, I'm going to do one more tweak to it just to see how it works out. But I would say either tonight or sometime tomorrow, that recipe will go up on all the flavors. The other one, I'm going to mess with some more before I make it public. I really think the raspberry lemon combo will work. I just got to find the right ones, and I think that FE lemon did like wonders for it. Now let me try it one time before we get out of here. Yeah, that's actually damn close, really damn close. So mess with that some more, and then post that one as well once I get it down. As far as the flavor for next week, I'm not real sure. I will post something about it probably in a YouTube short and over on Instagram. I kind of want to look through and see. I kind of want to talk about flavors you don't see a whole lot talked about, things like that. So yeah, I'll look through and pick something. We may do guava. That's kind of one I want to look at. I thought about doing mango, but really, there's been a lot of talk about mango, but we'll do it eventually. But so maybe guava, who knows? Next week, coconut coffee. Next week, Sorteal vomits live on live mixing. All right, guys, I'm out of here. So yeah, see you guys next week. It'll be on Monday next week. I'm gonna try and do it every Monday night at 8 p.m. at least for an hour, maybe two. So yeah, next Monday, 8 p.m. Come on back. Maybe I'll do coconut coffee and vomit all over my camera. You never know. But we'll see what happens. All right, guys. Appreciate everybody coming out and vape on.
I saw you dancing like